Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask the Aesthetic Mentor. I just want to make you all aware of the fact that, hello, my gosh, Dr. Lynn, you're right on top of this one. Victor, you're supposed to be enjoying yourself in Cancun and relaxing with a tequila or something. What are you doing listening to this? Glad you joined. Just want to let you guys all know that tomorrow night's a very special night. We're having an open house event for Aesthetic Mentor, primarily talking about what we do at Aesthetic Mentor and how we can help people on their aesthetic journey. I see you, Victor. And so if you go to the link in our bio, you can actually register for our event tomorrow night at 7 p.m. That's Wednesday, the 4th of May, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Click on the link in our bio. Hello, MK. Little wave to my teammate, MK, who's the magician behind all this. Hello, Charles and Maverick, my little guys. So, it's an open house event tomorrow night, 7 p.m., the Aesthetic Mentor, and we'll talk all about what we do, and I think it's a really good thing for those, anyone who's really interested in getting into aesthetics or learning more about aesthetics, or really just wants to sort of get started and learn about what we do, have them click on the link in our bio, and they can register right online. We've got several hundred people from what I last heard, so we're really excited about it, and look forward to seeing you there. Dr. Lynn, the wild woman. So actually, Dr. Lynn, we wanted to talk to you, connect with Victor about doing a live with me. We wanted to talk about having, sort of co-hosting you and just kind of getting your take on things and just talking about some different treatment options. So if you're interested, and I hope you are, please connect with Victor and we'll get you on Instagram Live with us. In Mode Austin, of course, as usual, is there. Thanks, Austin. Good to see you. So tonight, we want to talk about why men and women are different and how Kelly Ford, my God, it's been a long time. Okay, Dr. Lynn, we're holding you to that. I'd love to do it with you, and we'll explain more of the details later. For those of you who are just joining, we're having a very special open house event tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Right here on Instagram. Just click on the link in our bio, and you will be seeing a really good program. And if you know anyone who's interested in aesthetics, who wants to get started in aesthetics, and just doesn't know how, this is the place to be, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So let's talk a little bit about the differences between men and women in the aesthetic space. And I'm going to run a little, I don't know if I should call it a poll, but I'll have you actually guess. Hello, Dottie. Long time no see. I'm going to ask a question, and whoever gets closest to the correct answer, which I will reveal, will get a $100 gift card. Redheaded Swags joining. So now we can really start. So a $100 gift card to the person who gets closest to the answer that I'm going to reveal shortly. Hello, Heather. I'm just telling everyone about our open house tomorrow, our open house event at 7 o'clock here. Talking about our school in Connecticut, talking about Aesthetic Mentor, and trying to help anyone who's getting started in this space understand the value of what we do and understand how to become successful. And you're a great example of that, so thank you for joining. So the link's in our bio. You can sign up right online, and off you go. So men and women, they're different, right? But they roughly constitute half of the population. I mean, men in most places constitute about half of the population, but yet they consume far less than half of the aesthetic services that we have to offer. For example, if you look at huge opportunity, and Heather speaks, you guys listen because she's the chief. So in the aesthetic space, if we look at like what are the most commonly performed procedures in surgery, let's say, liposuction is always number one. Breast augmentation is way up there. Blepharoplasties, abdominoplasties, rhinoplasties, facelifts, always up there, and it's like consistent every year. Breast augmentation, liposuction, breast augmentation. In the male space, it's a little different. They do liposuction, yeah, they do. They get treated for gynecomastia, yeah, they do. They do get some rhinoplasties, yeah, they do. Blepharoplasties down the line facelifts down the line. And that's kind of it. They do Botox and fillers. And as a question to the general audience out there, and I'd be interested in hearing your perception of your practices. For those of you who are practitioners right now, what percentage of all the patients you treat are men? Just start blasting some numbers up so I can see what your numbers look like. And the question I see more men wanting Botox but afraid to talk about it. Yeah, that's an important thing. We'll talk about why men are reluctant to talk about it, why men are reluctant to engage in this space. Dottie only does 1% men. Okay, that's interesting. Anyone else? Ace says 5%. Okay, all right. The question I'm going to ask in a minute, that we're going to give a $100 gift card to the closest answer, is this. According to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, which is our sort of ruling overseeing body, Botox, baby, there were about 16 million, 6%. Okay. Yeah, so all you guys are low. So we had a 1, a 5, and a 6 in terms of what percentage of your practice keeping Gavin Young as a full-time job. So that's a 10%er right there, Heather. 10%. Wendy Diamond, good to see you. Good to see you. We got some good news for you, Wendy. You'll be getting a very good phone call from Aaron shortly if you haven't already, and you may or may not know what it is. So Dr. Lynn does 7% men, so we got a 1, a 5, a 6, and a 7%. So according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, there were 16 million procedures performed, aesthetic procedures of all sorts, mostly surgery. What percentage of those 16 million procedures, Tracy says, I see 5% men, repeaters, fraction of a percent. Wow. A fraction of a percent. Where are these guys? What are we doing wrong? You know they need services as well as anyone else. But why aren't they coming in? So according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, of these 16 million aesthetic procedures, what percentage, this is nationally, were consumed by men? Okay, that's the question. Whoever gets the closest to the right answer is going to get a $100 gift card. So you can start. So tell me now, what percentage of men are you treating in your practices? And so far we've gotten everything from 1 to 8%, I believe. 13%. How do you know so precisely that it's that high? You said like 5 before, so I don't know which is correct. Yeah, men all need it. So what's the difference? Like what is it about men that makes them different than women, aside from the obvious? Why aren't they at a higher percentage? Kelly's got 23%. Little Thing Skin has 17%. So those are pretty good numbers compared to the national average. For consumption. Okay, so you said 17 for consumption and 5 for treatment. Okay, all right. Like 2%. Okay, all right. Okay, so me 1%. My guess is 17% nationally. Okay, all right. You guys are going to be surprised at the answer, but there are some biases with men. Not many do Botox. Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you about men. Let me tell you a little bit about men. Men do stuff, but you were right. They don't 7% guess. They don't want to. I need someone to keep track of all these guesses. Actually, you'll know when I say it if you're the closest one. But someone's very, very close. In fact, so men don't want to go to a place that they think is for women, right? So they don't want to walk into a waiting room with flowers and nice, bebop music. They don't want to be sitting around with other women looking at them. They don't want to see girly pictures on the wall. Listen, I'm just telling you what men want and why. If you want to be successful, I've talked to people who have primarily a male practice, like they treat mostly men, and their practices are really different. And I can tell you what makes them successful. But one of the things that someone brought this up that men don't know is about what happens in this industry. So I remember I ran a campaign for gynecomastia, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 years ago on the radio and all over the place. And I got a huge response. And most of the guys said, I didn't even know this was possible. I walked around for 20 years, never taking my shirt off, never going to the beach, never, always kind of doing this, never going like this. And I never knew you could treat it. So it's like, we think that's like, who doesn't know that, right? We just take it for granted, but we shouldn't, because just men aren't in this space. More gay men get these services. That's probably true. But we're talking about just overall all men, in terms of the contest question. The contest question is, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons said that there were 16 million procedures performed in the cosmetic arena in the past few years, and what percentage of them were consumed by men? And whoever gets that answer right gets a $100 gift card. So you guys are all ready to go. So men like to get things done quickly and easily, but if they don't know that they're there. So if you want men, the first thing to do is to advertise to men. So when you're posting stuff on Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media you're doing stuff on, post pictures of men, post before and after pictures of men, let them know that it's safe for them to come to see you, right? When men come in, they want to feel like they're in a place that's men friendly, right? So let's target things that men do. Let's target rhinoplasty. Let's target liposuction. Let's target gynecomastia. Let's target things that men are like familiar with, right? They don't like waiting rooms that are woodeny, flowery colors. They like gray, brown, blue, earth tone colors. They don't like anything that looks girly. They don't like wallpaper. A waiting room should have a TV with ESPN or Fox News running. This is if you want to attract men, I'm just telling you. They want sports magazines in the waiting area. They want to look at newspapers and sports magazines, particularly like Sports Illustrated and those sorts of things. Men don't like to chat. They don't really want to get to know you. They want to get in and get out. So just keep offer beer and pizza, pretty much. Yeah, with sports magazines and ESPN on the TV, you'll be good. Hey, Mac. Men don't like to chat. I mean, they don't really want to get to know you and all this sort of stuff. They just want to get the facts. If a man starts nodding like this, it means they get it, move on. Like, okay, yeah, I get it, go, what's the next thing? They just want the facts. They want to get treated. They want to get in. They want to get out. They don't want to dilly-dally. They don't want to talk about their kids. They just want to get in, get treated, and get out because they're uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable in that space, right? So part of our job is to make that a comfortable space. And when you're talking to men, don't try to sell them on anything. 3% guess, okay. Just give them the facts. Hit them with facts. Be rational. Men like rational thought. Men like people being straight up and blunt with them. Men don't want a lot of options. They want to make a choice, get treated, and get the hell out of there. They don't want to come back every week, every month, every quarter. They want to do something once and have it be done and go, which is, I think, one of the reasons why they don't come back for neurotoxins and fillers, or they're not as big a group of neurotoxins and fillers, because you have to come back all the time, as you know. But that's where women are different, I think. Women are used to maintenance with their hair, with their nails, with their skin, with whatever they're doing. They're used to that. Men aren't. They don't go and do a lot of these things. So for them, it's like, getting something done once or twice and then being done with it. So Max Magazine, that's straight to the treatment room. Yeah, here you go. There you go. So that's one of the things that you need to know. And these guys that have had very successful practices that do mostly men create, believe it or not, like a man cave, right? A man cave that is sort of dark. When you go to these what's that steak restaurant near us, Victor? Capitol Grill. It's like dark, smoky, dark wood, dark panel, lights are dim. You feel like there's a spittoon next to you where you can spit and stuff. Men love that kind of stuff, right? They love those masculine feeling places. They like places where they feel like it's not a girly place, because guys don't feel like comfortable in a girly place that they're surrounded by women. It's just a different sensibility. In fact, Grant Stevens, who's a very well-known plastic surgeon and has a lot of men, has like a separate part of his office just for men, where women aren't allowed to go in. It's just for men, and it's dark and it's dank and it's sporty, and it's all the things that I'm talking about right now. They go in a separate entrance, and they're a different breed, and they get a lot of male patients. They do cool sculpting and liposuction and all these things. And the men can talk about it with each other because they're in this private, secluded... Hello, Brittany. Good to see you. We're talking about why men and women are different in this space. And I was also talking about the fact that we have a big open house event tomorrow night at 7 here on Instagram. And if you go on the link in our bio and just click on that, you can actually register right through that. And we look forward to seeing you. So the question of the night is, of the 16 million procedures that the American Society of Plastic Surgeons says happened in the past couple of years, what percentage of those procedures were consumed by men? Whoever gets the right answer is going to get a $100 gift card from Visa or whatever you want. 10%, because we do have a lot of easygoing employees and they're good looking. Yeah, okay. These are all good guesses. And what about in your own practices? What percentage of your practices is composed of male patients? And we were just talking about the differences in terms of what men want. I treat mostly women also, just because over the years that's been the easy pickings, right? And it's really hard to have a lot of men in your practice if you want men in your practice. It's a tremendously underserved community, and those places that do sort of cater to men do. Dr. Lynn, is that a guess or is that your own practice? So do you want men? And if you do, you've got to sort of focus and market and do a different thing for men. And I think even having a different space, like I said, is important because number one, you have to have ads that show men in them, right? Show a man with a before and after. Have pictures of men in your office. You have to be on social media with male things, right? Your waiting area has to be sort of darkly colored, earth tones. Blue, brown, gray, earth tone gray, blue, gray, that sort of stuff. Pictures on the wall of sporting events or outdoor scenes, a TV with ESPN or Fox News on. You want to have magazines that have, Sports Illustrated and Sport Magazine and all these other things. Promote that you want men in your practice. Remember, men don't want to wait a long time. They want to get in and out. They're kind of uncomfortable in the space. When they come in the room, just get right to it. They don't want to chat. They don't want to get to know you that well. They just want to get treated. Just tell them the facts. If they start nodding like this, it means they get what you said. Just move on to the next thing so I can get the hell out of here. They don't want to keep coming back. Don't sell them anything. Don't try to upsell them. Just give them the facts. Get them comfortable. And if you can get them coming back, that's a tremendous accomplishment. Be respectful. Be honest. Be straightforward, but treat them differently than you would treat a woman. Like when I know that when I come in and I treat a woman, I sort of know what my playing field is. And I also know that when I treat a man, I do act a little different. Men getting Botox is an untapped market, 100%, Heather. They're like everyone else. Once they get it, they can't go without it, and they need double or triple the dose, right? They need a lot. So you have to treat them differently, both in terms of getting them there, but also actually clinically different because they just need a lot more. But also, you have to alter your techniques, right? You don't want to feminize a man. You don't want to remove all the wrinkles from a man's face. You don't want to remove every line and wrinkle or fold from a man's face. You don't. They don't want that. They don't want their eyebrows lifted. They don't want anything to do with the feminization of a face. Their faces are more sort of lateral and fuller here. You want a triangular face in a woman. You want a rectangular or rhomboid shape in a man. You want this jawline to be big and solid and wider than this distance here, right? At least equal, but this should even be greater. So it's like an upside down pyramid, a right-sided pyramid. Understand their sensibilities, right? They'd rather have it done all at once and come back, every week for 3 weeks. It's just the way men are. They don't want to keep coming, right? They want to have other things to do. But it is a hugely untapped market, and if you get some of these patients, they'll generally be loyal to you. But you do have to alter the space, the place, the treatment of men. When men come in, I understand they want to get right down to it. They want to hear what I have to say, make their decision right then, and just do it and get out. Women tend to be a little bit slower. They want to know more. They want to make sure you answer all their questions. I didn't think of the atmosphere. Yeah, I'm an OB-GYN that does Botox, so we want a welcoming facility for women. We also want to make men feel comfortable. You know what? Honestly, I would have a separate space, a separate room, a separate area where the women and men are separated because I they're not going to feel comfortable sitting. I don't think most men are going to feel comfortable sitting in an OBGYN office when all these other women are around there talking about their babies and holding babies and all this. I've got nothing against babies. I'm just telling you this isn't what guys want to do. So even if you had another like separate little area where they could wait, and you had a dark carpet and some dark earth tone paint and a little TV and some sports magazines, just to say, hey, I recognize you're a man. I recognize your needs and wants are different. I want to be friendly, male friendly to you. So I understand what your sensibilities are, because we do the same thing for women, right? I mean, most of these spaces are designed to attract women. The design, the colors, the textures, the plants, the flower, all these things are designed to attract women. So that's what you get. If you want to treat men, you got to look at it differently, because they have different ideas and different sort of goals than women. But also, once you're in the room, once you're treating them, treat them differently. Maybe we should have a show on like what you do to men, like how do you treat them to keep that masculine male look? What do they want, right? Because we're tending to feminize everybody because we're working with women. But if you start feminizing a man's face, you'll never see him again. They do not want that, right? You have to approach it slowly. So that's kind of an important concept. If you don't want to attract men, again, whoever does it, in every case, she's taking notes. If you do want to do it, take it seriously and just create a separate space or a separate entrance or a separate something. So it's like, this is where the men go, right? And women don't really care so much, but men care. Men really care, I think. So when I'm treating a woman, I know that when I go in the room, I've got to start with asking about them, their family, their children, how they're doing, what vacations they've been on lately, like just talking about something. That, and most of the time I remember these people and have had them for many years, so it's a very easy conversation. I don't even start talking about any procedures. And maybe 5 minutes in, it's like, so what are we doing today? Right? Because with a man, I would never attempt to do that. The first thing I would say is, so how can I help you? What are we doing today? I would reverse it. Like, he doesn't want to talk to me unless he knows that I know what he wants, right? And most of the time, we get right into it. A few questions: what kind of work do you do? Oh, that's great. Yeah, I have a friend who does that. And well, where are you based? And what kind of products? Something. That's what men like to talk about: their work, what they do, their house, something, technical, mechanical. They don't want to give too much personal information. That's uncomfortable for most men. Whereas women, I think, want to give personal information. They want to share that with everyone, let them know what their life's like and how difficult it is, and what their family situation's like, and their husband, the vacations, all these sort of things. And it's wonderful, but it's different, right? You just have to recognize the difference in how you approach the man. Don't give them a million choices. Just be right, straight, blunt with them. Give them the facts. Explain, this is what you would do, this is what you wouldn't do, and why. They'll make the decision right there, and they'll do it. They'll be quiet, they'll be good, and they'll get out. They want to get in, they want to get out. They don't want to make a big deal about it. And they don't know if they want to come back, because they have to think about whether they like what just happened to them. So that's kind of what happened. So any questions about any of that before I reveal the winning answer? So the question is, for those of you who haven't weighed in, we have a $100 gift card on the line. And we have an open house tomorrow celebrating our Connecticut location. It's at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And if you go to the link in our bio and click on that, you can actually register straight away and move forward with that. But the American Society of Plastic Surgeons has said that about 16 million cosmetic procedures were performed in the past few years. And I want to know, of those 16 million, what percentage of those were consumed by men? Whoever comes the closest to that percentage will get a $100 gift card. If you just either DM us or call my office at 617-964-1440 and speak with Angelina, just let her know that you won the IG contest, and 10%. Metro OBGYN, that's an interesting name. I think of metrosexual, but you can't really do that if you're an OBGYN, because you're pretty much dealing with women. But if you do want men, 25%, wouldn't that be wonderful? Jen, in your practice, what percentage of your patients are male? Is it that high? Lady Gris says about you're predicting 5%. Yeah. What percentage in your practice are men? Believe it or not, What you guys are seeing is not, no joke, going to be close to the national average, because what I saw most of you say is this is my percentage for my own practice, and this is a percentage I think it would be nationally. Those numbers were actually much higher for your projections nationally than they were for your own practice, but actually it's not going to be so different. You're going to be shocked. I'll give you guys a few more minutes to get your no, but I'm thinking nationwide. Yeah, nationwide. I'm talking about it's nationwide. So it's obviously somewhere like LA is going to have higher numbers. Some place like Maine or New Hampshire, Boston, probably lower numbers. Florida, but this is just a national average. Or Miami, yeah, of course. People, plastic surgery is consumed more by women as well in all the warm climates, because they wear less clothing all year round, so they have a lot of body stuff and facial stuff and skincare stuff. They just do more because they're more exposed their entire life. 1.5%, that must be in your practice. You're sticking to 7 to 8%. Dr. Lynn, you are, little drum roll. The ASPS says of those 16 million procedures that were done in the past few years, 8% were consumed by men, 92% by women. So whoever said 8%, I know there's Dr. Lynn who's a 7 to 8%, but there's one person who was like little something said 8%. So I think you win the contest, unless someone else said, 100% true. Cumberland, we just finished up. Thanks for joining anyway. You can go back to sleep. Little Thing Skin, there you go. It's you. So Little Thing Skin, call my office, 617-964-1440. Speak with Angelina. Tell her you won the contest because you guessed 8% of all cosmetic procedures in the country are consumed by men. Most of you thought in your own practices you were doing like between 1 and 8%. And when you were looking at national numbers, we had 17s and 18s and 12s and 25s. We had much bigger numbers. But honestly, what you're seeing is what's happening nationally. There just aren't a lot of men doing this. That just tells you the pool of male patients who don't even know what we do, who aren't even being invited into the space, are being neglected. It's a great opportunity for those of you who want to start treating men. They're actually, in some ways, much easier to treat in terms of the expectations and the no offense intended, sometimes being less neurotic, sometimes being sort of like, I don't want to look completely frozen, I want a natural look. Is this good enough for me? Yeah, fine. Because men are looking for a couple different things. Men are interested in health, right? We're all worried about our health. They're interested in wellness, like maintaining that healthy state. They're interested in maintaining their strength and their body mass, right? It's hard to maintain your muscle mass as you get older. So, I'm just kidding, Carmel. I want you to be well rested because we have a busy day tomorrow. They're also interested in, their overall appearance. They're not really concerned with the details of their appearance. Fine lines and wrinkles. Are they bald? Do they have this? Do they have that? Men are interested in strength and vitality and looking youthful because they want to compete, in the battlefield of business, right? They want to still look young enough to be taken seriously. So they'll do some Botox. They'll do some fillers. They'll do some liposuction. They'll do a rhinoplasty. They'll do these things, but they have to be brought into the space, right? So you start with the neurotoxins and the fillers. So just be aware of that, right? Men are really concerned about their health and their wellness, less about their appearance, but they have to appear strong. They have to appear masculine. So we really want that squared off jawline. We really want that square or sort of rhomboid pyramidal look to their face. We never want to feminize them. We want to welcome them to our offices with like a separate entrance, rooms that have dark colored carpets, gray, blue, brown, paint, no pictures of animals or children on the walls. It has to be like sports figures, landscapes, seascapes, those kinds of things. Relaxing yet masculine. They want to get in and get out. They don't want to chat. They don't want to be given a lot of different choices. They want to be told what the right thing is. Always remember that even clinically, you've got to treat them differently than you treat women. Don't try to chat with them. They don't really want to be chatty. They just want to find out what you think they should do, and then they just want to do it, and they want to get out as quickly as they can. Don't try to sell them. Don't try to upsell them. Don't treat them like you would a woman. Just give them the facts, get down to it, have them make a decision, and let them go. If they like what you've done, then they may come back, and when they see you marketing to men, they say, "Oh, there's a picture on Instagram of someone that kind of reminds me of me, and that person looks much better with Botox, and look how great that jawline looks." Or even advertise things that men want: jawlines, right? Masculine jawlines, big faces, liposuction of the stomach, liposuction of the waist, things that bother men, liposuction of this stuff, right? Or Kybella, whatever you do. So market differently. Make your place man friendly. Treat them different clinically, and you got a chance. Because look, 92, of that 50% of our population, 92% of them aren't consuming our services, and they should be. They want to be. They just don't know how to get into the space, and they're looking for someone to be friendly to them, to invite them into the space, so they can look good and continue to keep up with their young wife and whoever else they have at home. So it's been a pleasure. Remember, live tomorrow night, live open house event on Instagram. Go to the link in our bio, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. That's tomorrow, Wednesday, May 4th. Hopefully we'll see you there. So be your best. Always do your best. Chase your dream and make it happen. I'll see you next week.